Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. I am Dave Does, and I'm your host for today's episode of Breaking Down and Pulling Apart. So today we're going to be breaking down and pulling apart Nightwish's last ride of the day live at Islanders Arms. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably a Nightwish fan, so I shouldn't really need to explain what Islanders Arms is, but I will anyway for those if you're just on the off chance that you've never understood what the hell that is. The Islanders Arms, it was a virtual reality or virtual show that they did during 2021, during the pandemic, as obviously all the tours and everything got cancelled. So it was a great thing to do. I never actually got to see it when it happened, but I have seen it since. And it's interesting because at the time, it's really weird how things have changed in 4 years. Because even at the time, everyone's like, freaking hell, they're doing this in virtual reality room and you can see around the room and it looks so cool. Looking back at it now, it's still very cool, and it's very cool they did it, but there's a few things to look at there. To let you know about the songs, it's off of the Imaginarium album, which was the last album to feature Annette Olsen. Came out in 2011. And they've said when you think about this song, you should think about the song as though it's a roller coaster. So I think that's interesting. It's a song I have heard many times before, so isn't going to be that new to me, but I think it's quite good to look at it from a video point of view, and of course breaking the song into 1 minute sections. So we're going to play the first minute for you at home, and for me as well. And yeah, let's check it out. Let's do it.
Recognize the faces loving us, so it's God. If not the spark that started life's night of the stranger, such stories run the skies, wonder history where any night goes.
Okay, that's the first minute for you. So let's have a look at this one. So I love the dramatic, the ba-ba-bam. It's great. It's really dramatic style and it's really great dynamics overall for the track. It builds, it makes you feel like there is something epic coming, which I really enjoy about this. What else have we got going on in that one? Visually, I think it's really interesting what's going on in this with the kind of, what would you call it? An atrium, maybe? Something like that. Feels like they're in. But even the color correction, so where you can see where they've against the green screen or probably blue screen they probably shot this against, but the blue screen they shot at, the clarity of difference between them and it's so obvious that it just hasn't blended as well as it doesn't. Although we obviously know it's fake, it should look a little bit crisper than it does. And at the time, I never noticed this in 2021. I never really thought about it. It's only now looking back at the video I'm thinking, yeah, they do stick out a bit like a sore thumb, the band, in this one against their backdrop. It's just so obviously green screen, and we knew it was gonna be, but it almost feels like it could have been blended a little bit better in it. But I guess they did it as it wasn't pre-recorded, was it? I think they recorded it live in their performance, if I remember rightly. It's a really nice chuggy riff over that first section. It's weighty in there. And I have criticised a little bit with the on the last couple of albums that the guitars just didn't really cut through. It's great to hear him in this. He sometimes gets lost behind the keyboards. This one gives him a bit more room to actually kind of riff out a little bit and allow that guitar tone to come through, which was very clear on earlier Nightwish stuff, that the guitars had a bit more prominence than they do now. Vocals being very delicately performed there by Floor. So yeah, and obviously this was not a Floor era song, so yeah, let's keep going.
Fresh smoke, grass in the morning sun, open the
Okay, that's our second minute. Do you know what? Vocally over the verses, I actually prefer Annette vocal delivery. I mean, you've got to remember the song was written in the Annette era, so would have been with thinking with her vocals in mind. But when the choruses kick in, Floor's power just takes over there for me, and she sounds so good there. And I actually really love the Annette era Nightwish. I know some people are kind of like she didn't really fit, but I think what they wrote at the time really suited Annette's vocals. And from the vocal delivery here, Floor's quite breathy. She's kind of, and it's a nice technique. It's a nice way of putting it, but I like what Annette does. I don't know, actually, I haven't heard Annette's version of this live, so maybe I need to check that one out. I love the folky vibe on the chorus. It's really cool. I like the folk. It reminds me again, Elan is another great example of that kind of folk vibe that I really love. And I love Troy's voice there with Floors, gives a nice balance to the overall tone. And it sits really nicely in the instrumentation here. It's not like they're overpowering it. It's very interesting that it doesn't sound like early Nightwish. When you compare it to earlier Nightwish stuffs, I could never imagine Tasha singing anything like this. And it's nice to see the progression of a band. I'm one of these guys that likes to hear progression of the band. If I hear an album that comes out and I can go anywhere within 8-9 albums and they all sound the same, I get really bored of that band because you're just recycling the same old stuff, and you end up finding there's one or two good songs that you really like off of an album, and everything else just feels so samey. Whereas if a band progresses and changes from album to album and album and gives you something new, I think it's quite interesting. Doesn't mean that you're going to like the album they change to, but it's at least it's an interesting progression. So yeah, let's do the next minute for you at home.
Dead boy, enter adventure and tricksters, magicians, no show you warriors, blue colors, travelers, snake charmers, fire, tail magic, all the moments, rhyme the day, every day into sunset, finding the way back home. Once upon a night, we'll wake at a carnival of life, beauty of this ride ahead, such incredible high. It's hard to light a candle, easy to cast the dark instead. For the design of humanity, that's why of the day.
Okay, I went over a minute that one, but I had to leave the solo to run all its length on that one. So yeah, bear with me on that one, I guess. Okay, so it is a rock out headbang track, isn't it, at this point? So this is not something that I can imagine a slam pit and people doing circle pits to. I mean, maybe they have, but it doesn't seem to be the sort of one that does it. It's a round dart. This is about dancing, having fun, rocking out, headbanging. This is the sort of gig that I would want to go to. When you see people spin kicking and going violent at like a knocked loose concert, I could never imagine myself ever going to a gig like that. I have no interest in being windmill kicked in the face. It just isn't the sort of thing I want to go to. I love the visuals of what's going on in the band here. I like the fact that you've got all the different guys are singing along. They're looking at each other. They're interacting with each other. It's not just they're in their own headspace, which is good to see. It just keeps you really interested, and obviously Floor just getting into it. And I love like some of her own personal interpretations of like the vocal line and how she's made slight little changes to it. But yeah, let's do the next 50 seconds, I guess. Then it is for the next bit.
Instead,
Okay, I let it run to the end. Okay, bear with me. I had to do it. I couldn't just cut it there. I had to let it run. So great little solo. Obviously we had before. We've got these real. If they've obviously gone from a solo, they needed to do something to transition back into the chorus. I don't know if they needed it. It would be an obvious thing to do. Maybe they could have done a cool breakdown midsection or something, but it was cool. But when you get into those choruses, especially when she gets into the second rotation of that chorus, the second time round at the end, and then she goes even higher and she's putting the power in, I get goosebumps. Even no matter how many times I see her do it, I still get goosebumps every time she does it. She's such an amazing vocalist. And the fact that Troy he was following it, he was holding that note, she was going up, he was going up with her, and they were like neck and neck. So he was just holding that lower octave below her. But yeah, really good. How can you not like it? That's what I can't understand. I mean, I'm sure there have been times when I've criticised the song on ADK or on the Dave Does channel, and people have gone, "How dare you criticise it?" I didn't get it. I didn't understand the song. I feel like that about this one. If anyone turns around, and I'm sure if Kirk or Andy had joined me on this particular video, they'd have been going, "Oh, I'm not really keen on that." Maybe they would have loved it, but I don't know. But maybe they wouldn't have, and I would have been sitting there going, "I just don't get it." Like with How's the Heart, I reviewed that one on the channel with Kirk the other day, and I knew that was not going to be something Andy was going to really get into, but I couldn't understand how anyone can't enjoy that particular song. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, if you enjoyed the video today, please do like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.